Hi friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm starting mood reading vlog number 2 for the month of May. Like I said, I'm planning to mood read all month long, and I decided earlier today that I want to pick up The Strange Case of Jane O by Karen Thomas Walker, who I haven't read from before, but this one just sounded really good, so I picked it up from Aardvark Book Club. And I have a little like spot, like I have my Papasan cushion out here. I have some fresh berries that I'm snacking on, and I'm just like sitting in the sunshine, soaking in the rays. Got my Stanley, got a cushion, like I'm set. I'm set for the afternoon. I'm just gonna sit here, read my book, soak in the vitamin D, and eat my berries. First official check-in on The Strange Case of Jane O. It's strange. I'm 38% in. I am on chapter 10, page 100. And I didn't really tell you what it was about because I just kind of wanted to like get into the story and then tell you from there. So basically it starts with this woman, Jane O, going to a psychiatrist saying that something is wrong and she can't exactly explain it, but she needs help. And then she describes like seeing this guy that she knows is dead, like vividly, and having a conversation with him and all of this. And then like she ends up like disappearing for a few days and being found in this like field, and like she's taken to a hospital, and they're kind of investigating like what's going on. And so we're getting the story, like the psychiatrist is kind of telling the story, and I guess she went to him like 20 years earlier, and now she went to him again. You also get Jane's point of view in these like diary notebook formats to her son, and now she's disappeared again. This is just so strange. Like something is definitely happening. She also has this ability to have, she has like the perfect memory. Like she can remember anything and everything. And she was trying to like make the psychiatrist believe her about that. Because she's like, the thing is that I remember everything. She has this certain condition, gift, I don't know what you want to call it. I don't even know if it's a real thing, but she says pick a date, and he picked a date at random, and then she told him like what day of the week it was, what the weather was like, what the news headlines were in the newspaper, and like all of this. And he did that several times with her, so he's kind of like, okay, maybe she really does have this thing. And so she's like, for me not to remember what happened in a 24-hour period, because she had dropped her son off at daycare, went home to work from home, filled her tea kettle, and that's the last thing she remembers until she was found 24 hours later. But then later we see that there's footage of her like leaving her apartment building. So something is definitely going on, and I'm super intrigued. The writing is easy to read. I'm intrigued. So I'm gonna keep reading, and I will update you when I finish, because like I said, it's under 300 pages. Let's see, 271. Good morning. It took me a second to find the camera, and I was like, where did I put that camera? But I found you, and I'm gonna give you a quick reading update. I didn't read too much. I made it to page 188, so I only have like this much more to go. I should be able to finish that up today. Jesse had the Sleep When I'm Dead book club last night. I have my in-person book club tonight. So that's kind of the plan. Might go to the Chesapeake house. I just have to wake up. I have to get my coffee, read my devotionals. I also took down all of my like Easter bunny spring kind of decor and laid it out here. Because I need to package that up. And I'm probably going to start getting out like our regular decor that we take down in place of that. But last night, after Sleep When I'm Dead, we finally, in this guest bedroom, which I'm still working on, it has a lot of stuff everywhere, but I organized this closet to hold all of our seasonal decor. So all of this here is Christmas with our tree back there. We have some fall decor. We have a couple things up there. And then on the other side, I was able to fit the rest of the fall decor here, a couple of Christmas trees here, and then on this shelf, I'll put the other two bins that I have. One is for spring and one is for summer, but they're just like smaller tubs. So yeah, those will go right here, and this will be our seasonal decor closet because we just don't have attic space in this house. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I look absolutely crazy, but I'm obsessed with Mott's apple juice lately. I feel like a toddler, but I don't even care. These are so good. We did get little bottles of it, but we also did get like the big, huge bottle. I've already drank it. Hold on, I'm gonna show you. We got the big bottle and I've already finished it. So yeah, I'm a little obsessed, but I wanted to check in with you guys, not because I have a reading update, but I have a like house update. It's a slow process because everything that I'm doing so far this week, I'm doing it by myself. Daniel did help me put the seasonal decor. Well, he didn't help me put it in there, but he got it out of the room and brought it to me in the back bedroom. And then I put the stuff in the closet. So it's just been a process because like, I'm just one person, I'm just a girl. And he's obviously working, which I know he has to. But I really wish he could take some time off just to help me get some things done. I do have a list of things that I want him to do when he does get off. But I want to show you guys my sunroom because that's pretty much done except for like a few little things. And it's so nice and calm and peaceful. I finished The Strange Case of Jane O by Karen Thomas Walker, and I literally do not know what to think of this story. I enjoyed it. There definitely was a plot, but at the same time it felt a little bit plotless. Kind of like the same things were happening over and over again. There was a psychiatrist that was dealing with a patient, so they were telling their side of things. There were letters from Jane to her son Caleb, and it was told in like 6 different parts. Something strange is happening with Jane, and you're not really sure what is happening. It kind of gives you something that could be happening at the end, but you're like, it's not positive. it wasn't like a diagnosis. It wasn't like this is what is happening. So it's a little bit sci-fi in that way. I don't even know what to classify this book as. Same day, later in the evening, I'm getting ready to do reading sprints with my patrons. I do those every single Wednesday from about 8 to 10 or 8 to 11, depending how I'm feeling. So if you're looking for some extra weekly reading sprints, join my Patreon. Again, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. is when I do sprints. And I've decided to start The Ministry of Time by Kaliane Bradley. I know it's a sci-fi book. I know it has some space. I'm guessing it has space with like the stars and stuff. In the near future, a civil servant is offered the salary of her dreams to work on a top secret project. A recently established government ministry is gathering expats from across history to establish whether time travel is feasible for the human body, but also for the fabric of space-time. I hope this isn't too confusing, but yeah, I do want to read more sci-fi this year. So we'll see, but I'll let you know my thoughts tomorrow. I'm gonna get ready for sprints now, and I'll catch up with you in the morning. I started The Ministry of Time last night as intended on reading sprints. I read 100 pages. Yes, I do have a bookmark in there. I still have quite a bit to go. I will admit the story is a little confusing just because I don't think as the reader we're supposed to know everything yet, because our main character doesn't know everything yet. She's basically recruited into this new position where she is a bridge, and a bridge is a person that bridges the gap between the old and the new. When they take a person from the past and they basically time travel them to the present, and the bridge lives with the person that they brought from the past to help them acclimate to the new society, new rules, new vocabulary, new pretty much everything. So our main character that we're following is working as a bridge, living with, assisting, and monitoring the expat known as 1847, because he came from 1847, or Commander Graham Corr. As far as his history is concerned, Commander Corr died on Sir John Franklin's doomed 1845 expedition to the Arctic. So he's a little disoriented to be living with an unmarried woman who regularly shows her calves, surrounded by outlandish concepts such as washing machines, Spotify, and the collapse of the British Empire. It has been a couple days and I haven't really dedicated a lot of time to reading. I've been working on my house and the other house and all of the things, but it is Friday afternoon and I have decided to DNF The Ministry of Time. I won't say I was like strongly disliking it. I was just kind of bored and didn't understand the point. I made it 35% in, and that's definitely further than some other people that I've seen DNF this book, but I made it to page 117. I stand by what I said, that there's just kind of a lot going on and there's lots of different moving pieces to the story, but it's not all coming together seamlessly, and I just don't see myself giving it above a 3, you know? And for that reason, I'm just gonna go ahead and DNF this one and move on to something else. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with Famous Last Words by Gillian McAllister. This is the May Sleep When I'm Dead pick, and it sounds interesting. I've never read anything by this author though, so we shall see. An addictive thriller about a new mother whose world is upended when her husband commits a terrifying crime. How well does she truly know the man she loves? And what danger does she face if her entire life has been built on a lie? It's the story of a crime, a marriage, and more secrets than Camilla ever could have imagined. So yeah, this one came out in February. I got it from Book of the Month, but I knew Jesse was going to choose this for a Sleep When I'm Dead pick, so I saved it. Let's see how long it is. 324 pages. Okay, let's do this. Let's read the first line together. Act 1, The Siege. Cam. It is 1 hour before Camilla's life changes, though she doesn't yet know it. Okay, that's how it starts. All right, let's dive into this one, and I'll give you some updated thoughts as I start reading it. All right, I am here with a reading update. I did indeed start Famous Last Words by Gillian McAllister yesterday. I didn't read much. Like I said, I haven't really been in a reading mood lately, but I am on page 49. So I have started it. I've made it to chapter 8. It's okay so far. For the plot that's happening, you think it would be much more thrilling or much more mysterious, but it's just not right now. So I'm hoping it picks up, but I'll have to work on that a little bit later today, because this morning I'm meeting up with some of my friends from book club, and we're doing a bookstore crawl. It actually started, so each year, I think this is the second or third year. I think it's the third year, but they start on Independent Bookstore Day, and then it runs through it runs for like 2 weeks or something like that. But this year they did a bingo card, and I think there's like 20 different bookstores on there, just in this whole area: Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Newport News, Hampton, Norfolk. I think those are the cities. But basically you go into the bookstore and you can get a stamp. They're just making you visit all of the bookstores. And yeah, I didn't participate this year because they run out of cards pretty quickly, and not all bookstores have them anymore. And I'm not really doing the crawl this year. I did it the first year that it ever happened, and that was a lot of fun. But the problem is that my Fab 5 trip usually coincides with that, or I'm just getting back from it and getting back into the swing of things, so I don't really have the mental or physical capacity to rally for it. But they went last weekend. They got a couple stamps. They've been going to different ones on their own, and we're going to meet up today to do a few more. So I'm not participating in the crawl per se, but I'm just going because we're meeting at a coffee shop. So it would be nice to try a new coffee shop, maybe get a little treat, go check out some pop-up bookstores, because I think there's going to be 3 pop-ups that you can only get on the weekends. So I'm going to a couple of pop-up bookstores I've never been to, and then I think there's a few other ones that we could walk to as well. I'm not really sure. I'm just kind of along for the vibes. I had the best intentions to vlog a little bit today, but it is hard when you're hanging around people that aren't on the internet in the same way that I'm on the internet. So just to respect everybody's privacy and be in the moment, I got one little clip of Juan's books, but we actually went to 7 different bookstores today, which seems like a lot, but let me explain. We started at Mea Culpa, which is a coffee shop, but they do have a little corner where they have some used books and stuff, so it counted. I got a pistachio latte. It was really good. And then we left there and went to the back alley book sale, which had 3 pop-up bookstores, basically just like a table with books. So I visited the Literary Garage, the Violet Fox, and Literature and Libations. Didn't get anything at any of these places, but I got my stamp at all of them. And then we went to Local Heroes, which is actually next door to another coffee shop that I have been to before. We go there for book club sometime. But at Local Heroes, it is a comic book and graphic novel store. And so I actually did pick up something there. I got this sweet little graphic novel called How to Talk to Your Succulent. And it just, the cover stood out to me, and I just flipped through it, and the art was really bright and colorful. And you guys know I love graphic novels, so I decided to give this one a go. I've never read anything by this author or illustrator before, but it is by Tundra Books, which is where my Anne of Green Gables boxed set is from. So I'm really excited to have this in my collection to read, and I might actually read it in this vlog. And then after that, we went to Eleanor's, and they actually have a new location. So a couple years ago, when the Fab Five came to visit me, I took them to Eleanor's, and it used to be in this like really cute like house kind of situation. They've moved into like a strip mall, and I miss the house, but I think they're still moving in, still getting the vibes right. And then after Eleanor's, we went to, Juan's Books, and that's also like a used bookstore. So for the most part, all of the places that we went today, Eleanor's is the only place that I think had, well, Eleanor and Local Heroes were new, and then the other ones were like used books. So I didn't end up getting anything there either. After that, my friend dropped me and my other friend back off at our cars, and I came home. And then as soon as I got home, Daniel and I shot out to our internet and cable company to close out our old account and open our new account. And then we went to this Italian place called Rigatoni's or something like that for lunch, and that was really good. Daniel corrected me. It's like Rigoletta or something like that. Anyway, we had a really delicious lunch. And then recently there's been this like new vintage store with like these booths. Different people can open booths, kind of like an antique store, vintage store, but you go in and every little booth is really different. And I am working over here on this wall on a trinket wall. So I'm working on that trinket wall, and I'm always on the lookout for new things to add to it. Things that when we go traveling I pick up, because I had a couple okay, the cross I've had that for a while. And then I have this little picture frame that I got around Christmas time last year. It came in like a set of 3, and I gave 2 away, and I kept 1 for myself. And then the larger picture frame I got at an antique store. And then the other like wooden mirror actually came from India, but I got it when I was in North Dakota visiting Jordan with Jesse and Lena. And then, like I said, we went to this vintage store today, and I got a couple things. So the first thing I saw, because obviously my house is kind of like coastal themed, I thought, how cool is this little ship's wheel? And it's like wooden. It's pretty heavy. It has like some brass right here in the middle, and it was only like $35. So I got that for that wall, and it's a pretty big piece, which I've needed a few bigger pieces, so when I add the smaller pieces they don't get like swallowed up. But I think that will probably be the biggest piece that I have for the wall. And then at that same booth I found this little butterfly, and it was only $4, but it's this little ceramic butterfly. I'm doing like blues, and it's just like white with a little blue on it. It is ceramic, so it's a little shiny, but there you can kind of see it now, and it does have a little spot to hang it up. So I was like, I'm getting that. And then the last thing I just kind of saw on a whim, it's this fan. This like, so, and it has a place that I can like hang it up. It was actually hanging up there, and this actually came from a furniture store in Portsmouth. Like back in the day, I guess they were giving them out at the furniture store. But yeah, I thought this was really cool to hang up there. So those are the 3 things that I got at the vintage store today. And I will definitely be going back because they had so much to look at. And I just wanted to spend all of my money. But the butterfly was $4, the fan was $5, and then the little wheel was $35. So that was like the most expensive thing that I got. But yeah, that was my day. And now I think it's like, yeah, it's 7 p.m. already. 7 p.m. So I don't know how much reading I'm gonna do today. All right, here's the update on the trinket wall. I know it doesn't look like much right now, but you just have to imagine the vision when it's covered with things. It will be so much better. Okay, I'm trying to finish Famous Last Words tonight. I just made it to chapter 37, page 212, and over the last few chapters, kind of, I guess, a twist or reveal has been building up. But I saw this coming from so early on. I was like, what if this? And yeah, so far, I'm right on. The problem with this book is that it doesn't really have a plot, but I also don't feel like it's character driven. Like, I don't feel like I know anything new about the main characters or the people that I'm getting POVs from. And there's also just not a lot happening. I'm so bored, but I'm determined to finish it because I've always heard that Gillian McAllister has like really good twists. So I'm hoping that this isn't it because I still have quite a ways to go. So I'm going to dive back in and I'll let you know more if I have any more thoughts. Okay, there's just been another reveal and it's another thing I saw coming. Another reveal and another one that I saw coming. Literally 3 reveals, 3 twists, whatever, and I saw all of them coming. I have finally finished Famous Last Words by Gillian McAllister. This is my first book by this author, and I'm not sure if I would pick up something else. There wasn't anything extra special about the writing. I actually found it quite predictable. There were several reveals and twists that come later in the novel, and I had those picked out so early on in the novel, and it wasn't like I was even trying to like figure out what was happening or theorize or put the puzzle pieces together. It was just so obvious to me from early on. But that's not why I'm rating this book so low. I'm rating this book low because it didn't feel plot driven, but it also didn't feel character driven. The characters are the same the entire novel, and from the beginning of the novel to the end of the novel, 14 years passed. You're mainly dealing with an event that happens, and then 7 years later, and then at the very end there's another like time jump. But the thing is that nothing happens. The characters don't change, the plot doesn't really change. So at the beginning of the novel, Cam is dropping off her 9-month-old daughter Polly at daycare for the first time and returning to work after maternity leave. When she wakes up that morning, her husband Luke is already gone, and she figured like, oh, I thought he would have said goodbye. I thought he would have hyped me up for the day, but he's already gone. And she's like, okay. So she drops her daughter Polly off at daycare. She goes to work. As she's working that day, this news story comes on where there's this hostage situation. There's a guy holding 3 people hostage. The guy holding the people hostage is her husband, Luke. And she is so shocked by this. The hostage negotiator calls her in. You know, this whole thing goes down. And something happens at the end of that that then we're thrust 7 years into the future. And then 7 years into the future, we're basically just spent focusing on one aspect of what happened from the past. And it's just over and over and over again. And I'm like, okay, like, what are we doing here? And then it's not until, you know, 2/3 into the novel that it starts revealing these things that I very clearly saw from the beginning. And it kind of just draws it out a little bit too much for me. So I'm going to give the book 2 stars because it wasn't terrible, worst book I ever read. It was okay. But yeah, definitely not for me. So womp womp. I'm very curious what the other members of the Sleep When I'm Dead book club are going to say about it. I believe it's going to be, there we go. So there's the information for the Sleep When I'm Dead discussion. I know that Jordan has read other books by this author, including Wrong Place, Wrong Time. And I also think she read another book by the author, but I'm very interested to tune in to that discussion. But I think I am done reading for the day. It's already 6:15 p.m. But tomorrow, I think I will pick up and read this graphic novel because it just looks so adorable. Wow. Look at the sky tonight, you guys. I definitely have some updates for you guys. I finished How to Talk to Your Succulent, and I want to talk to you about this adorable graphic novel. But first, I ordered some things for church, and then I also got my very first Hungry Root box, and I thought we could open that together. So I paid for this with my own money, and they kind of helped me select my menu for the week. It tells what to put in the fridge, what to put in your pantry. It has the recipes. So let's see what we got. I got some Sweet Thins. Those are a pantry item. I got some gluten-free elbows. Those are pantry item. Oh yeah, this is my first box, so they gave me a welcome to Hungry Root, and yeah, they show off some of their food, so I'll look for that later. I also got some Mexican brown rice and this little snack of chocolate chip cookies, pickles, spinach, what are these called? Tortillas. This is a snack, cocoa dippers, vegan and gluten-free, made with avocado. That looks good. A couple salad mixes, sweet kale, super blend salad, an avocado, fruit crisp mixed berry, like kind of granola bar, tomato marinara, another tomato marinara, baby bella mushrooms, salsa, cheddar crackers, ooh, barbecue sauce, olives, which I think we're gonna try these right now actually. I love olives so much, you guys. Margarita pizza, green chili and cheese tamales, probiotic kefir, falafel bites. These are in place of the meatballs because they ran out of the meatballs, but luckily I have meatballs in the fridge. Cookie dough, ravioli, spinach ravioli, chicken tenders. These are made from plants. They're not real chicken tenders. Plant-based ground beef. All right, the stuff that I got from Amazon is stuff that I ordered to make these welcome bags for J1 students, which are international students that come to the Virginia Beach area during the summer months to work in hospitalities at the hotels, restaurants, gift shops, stores along the ocean front. And they're all students, and we're just doing welcome bags from them with laundry soap, dish soap, Ziploc bag, shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, snacks, all of that sort of stuff. So I'm doing 4 of the bags, and I just ordered everything from Amazon so I could have it in time and buy 4 of basically the same thing. So yeah, I got some of the snacks that I'm gonna put in their bags. So I'll show you what I got, and then when I eventually put the totes together, I'll show you what I'm doing, and I'll tell you more about it then. But I did get some Dots pretzels, and I got some bug defense wipes because there's nothing worse than having bug bites. So I got 15 of these, and I have 4 bags so I can divide some wipes up in everybody's bag. I got Chomps Italian style mini sticks so I can give them a few of these. They also asked for hand towels, so I got these really pretty checkered ones, purple, yellow, green, and like this red color, but they're like checked. How cute are those? So I got those. And then also rain ponchos. So I think this comes with, it comes with several. I think I could give them 2 each, I think. So, because they're disposable, you know. You can use them more than once, but sometimes they'll get kind of nasty. So yeah, I got a couple of those so I can give them a couple each of those. And that is what came in my first package, but I definitely have more coming. So stay tuned in other vlogs for all of that information. But let's go ahead and wrap up the vlog by talking about how to talk to your succulent. This was absolutely adorable. It gets 5 out of 5 stars. It starts in November with a little girl and her dad moving across country from California to Michigan. And they're moving in with his mom. And her mom has recently passed, and they're moving, you know, back to Michigan to like be with family with his mom while they get on their feet again. They're also like both grieving. The daughter's grieving, obviously, the dad's grieving, and you get to see grief through both of their eyes. And you also, there's like a little bit of a magical realism because the mom used to talk to plants, and now the daughter can talk to plants. And so you learn a little bit about plants, specifically a succulent, and she finds this little succulent and that's hers, and she learns how to take care of it. And it's also about like, it's a lot about the grieving process, how you kind of ignore other things because you're so focused on your own grief, like friendships and stuff like that. And she knows something is wrong with her dad, but her dad won't talk to her. He's very snippy, and the grandmother tries to explain, but it's not the same, and yeah, stuff like that. So yeah, She's in a new school, in a new town with no friends and a dad who's impossible to talk to. I loved the artwork. And yeah, I would just highly recommend this. The artwork, the story, the pacing, the grief was really well done. The like friendship was really, it was just so wholesome. Like the dad grew, the daughter grew, you know, the plants, like they have a thing with the plant, like it's so cute. So I highly recommend this, and just the emotions, and you can just feel what's happening in the story, and I just really like it. Like here, I'll show you some of the artwork. Yeah, it's just really great. So if you're looking for a new graphic novel, I highly recommend this one. And it is considered middle grade because the young girl is the main character. But like I said, you do get to see the grief of the father and stuff like that as well. So I loved it. Can't wait for this author illustrator to write more. And in the back, it talks about like how to propagate succulents, and there's like an author's note, which, you know, she says that this is a very personal story, and she did like some little pictures, and then she does some illustrations to kind of tell you about her process, and then the succulents, and then she did just some art exploration, which was really cool. So I highly recommend looking at that. And if you like graphic novels as much as I do, this is a must read. But that's all for this mood reading vlog. I'm gonna pick up something else later on today, and that will show up in the next vlog. So make sure you're subscribed to my channel, you hit the bell notification, give this video a thumbs up, and yeah, that's all for today's video. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far in the video, put any of the plant emojis in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys again in another video very soon. Bye friends.